Good morning. I'm Aaron Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker. And I'm Tobin Brinker. Can you try that again?
You need a different mic, baby.
This mic's not working?
It's not working.
So all these mics are run under the table. All these mics are run under the table.
Hi, you're awake there. Oh my goodness.
All these mics.
We're professional radio here.
All these mics were run under the table, and I think some of the wires might have gotten unplugged or something.
You're saying this on the air?
Yes, it's just driving me crazy.
Professional broadcasting right here.
I got here.
KCAA.
I got here early this morning.
AM 1050.
I had everything set up, and
except we didn't test it because it's supposed to be just fine. So, anywho, good morning. Kind of a
good morning.
Jumbly start. To our show. I should like that song, though.
We have a guest later, and I was trying to get everything set up for our guest, and then...
We actually have two guests later.
Yeah.
We have two guests later. We're going to be talking to Sherry Hunke from Children's Fund, and we're going to be talking to Gigi Hanna, candidate for mayor and the current city clerk in the city of San Bernardino. I have endorsed Gigi. I signed her paperwork. I got a sign in our yard, and I think that she's got a vision for the city. Now, is that to say that I hate the mayor? No, not at all. I like Kerry Davis. I think he guided us through bankruptcy. But I don't know what his vision is moving forward. And Gigi, she's going to tell us about hers.
So I would like, because it's unlikely that anyone's going to win this race on June 5th, right, next Tuesday, because there's so many people running. No one's going to get 50% plus one. So the top two will go to the next round, which is in November. And I would love to see Gigi and Mayor Davis in the next round. I think those would be the two. Those are my top two picks.
Me too.
And I would love to see the two of them square off. Now, there's another candidate out there who's spending a lot of money. I won't mention his name, and from a lot of sketchy sources. And I'm worried that person's going to make it in the next round. I hope that if they do, they get that a lot of this stuff gets exposed because, yeah.
Yeah, he has definitely been getting his money from sketchy sources, including, this woman who started a pot business, had several buildings that became grow houses in San Bernardino, and she was arrested in December before it was legal.
Yeah.
I get that it's legal now, but there was a process, right? And she didn't go through it; she just did what she did.
Yeah.
And I got to be honest, and you and I have talked about this, and I have no insider knowledge on this, but it seems to me that she's awfully well funded, and I don't know where that money comes from.
Well, I told you my speculations. All of this stuff is the cartels, right? They're using all of the new legal marijuana stuff to expand their business and make their money grow.
Yeah, they're business people. They may be violent business people, but they're business people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, not necessarily the kind of people that I want associated with the city leadership.
Exactly. Thank you.
So, yeah. So pick a story, Tobin.
Pick a story. That's a good question. What about this one about McDonald's? Because you told me this last night, and I laughed and laughed and laughed, and then you told me you were serious, and then I cried and cried and cried.
Yeah, it is absurd. You think about all of there's something about fast food that makes people crazy.
A little bit.
Seriously, because you hear about these crazy people getting all upset and beating people up or shooting people because they didn't get the right sauce with their McNuggets or whatever. Well, there's a guy, and I think this is in Florida, right? Is it in Florida?
I think it is.
And why is it always in Florida? He got upset because he was charged for cheese on a quarter pounder that he didn't eat. So he didn't want cheese. They didn't want cheese on their quarter pounder. They claimed they had to pay for it anyway, and it cost $1. And now they want $5 million for the trouble. That's according to a new lawsuit filed by two Florida residents, always in Florida, against McDonald's, which should be used to such fights by now. It came after Leonard Werner says he realized that McDonald's was repeatedly charging him for a quarter pounder with cheese, but giving him a cheeseless sandwich. I wonder if he asked anybody about that. Did he say, I want a quarter pounder without cheese, and is there a different charge? Did he ask that question?
Yeah, I know, right?
Or is he just going to, keep it to himself and then sue? I started talking with some lawyer friends saying, what's the deal? They can charge for something I didn't get? It's not right. Warner says, per the South Florida Sun Sentinel, according to Warner, McDonald's restaurant menus no longer feature a cheeseless quarter pounder, but its app menu does at a reduced cost of 30 cents to $1.
Wow.
Well, why didn't he just bring it to somebody's attention?
Yes.
So restaurant customers are therefore being forced to pay for 2 slices of cheese, which they do not want, order, or receive to be able to purchase their desired product. One of the attorneys who filed the suit, which is seeking class action status, explains people who order Big Mac with items left off are not entitled to a credit against the purchase price because the burger is trademarked according to its ingredients. Per the Miami Herald. He says that's not the case with the quarter pounder since a cheeseless option is sold. Another lawyer involved said up to 25 million customers may be overcharged and could be eligible to receive $10 and a free sandwich should a judge side with the plaintiffs. McDonald's doesn't expect that to happen, claiming the suit is without legal merit.
So this is a fishing expedition. We see these things all the time.
Yeah, these lawyers just want a payday.
Yeah, so there's two things. Either the lawyer takes this to class action lawsuit, and if they win, they get a ton of money for themselves, and they're not going to put a lot of time and effort into this, but they'll file all the paperwork and whatever, and or McDonald's will pay them off just to get this nuisance suit to go away because it cost them more in lawyer time to respond to the various filings and whatever.
I got to be honest, I hope they don't pay them off. And I say this because what that does is it emboldens idiots like this to file lawsuits because they were overcharged by 30 cents to $1.
Here's the deal, right? They probably didn't pay him off, which is why we're now seeing it in the media. This guy's now trying to amp it up to the next level to see if he can get them to cough up some money, right? So we'll get him some bad media, maybe get some people talking about it on the radio. What? On the radio? No, this is a scam. This is a total scam. And you're right, McDonald's shouldn't pay them. It's ridiculous. Now, what should McDonald's do? They should recognize that there are people who have this gripe and allow their cashiers or train their cashiers that if someone wants a quarter pounder without cheese, that you can just push this little button here and it's 30 cents cheaper or whatever.
And honestly, it's my guess is if he had tried even once to tell a cashier, hey, I don't think you're supposed to be charging me for the cheese, the cashier would have asked a manager and they would have figured it out.
Right.
But I'm sure he didn't do that even once. Even once.
Yes.
And it wasn't until he got to talking with his lawyer friend that he decided, oh, well, I could cash in.
Yeah.
Come on.
This reminds me of the lawsuit when the guy sued because there was too much air in the packaging for his candy bar.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that.
The candy bar was too small. And then they did the same thing with the potato chips. Too much air in the bag with the potato chips, right? And so the bag looked really big. And the guy sued. It was a total nuisance suit. And, it didn't affect anything about the quality or the actual quantity he was getting. It's just the bag looked bigger or whatever.
Right.
But
the ounces in the bag were the same.
Yeah. But he got paid off, right? He got the companies just pay them off to get rid of them.
Okay, but in that particular case, it's not like you're standing across the counter from somebody who can fix the problem.
Yeah.
In the case of McDonald's, you are.
But I guess what I'm trying to say, I get frustrated with these nuisance suits, right? Because it jacks up the price for everybody else, and it doesn't solve. They don't solve real problems, typically speaking. These are not designed to address real problems. They're just nuisances that are designed to tie these guys up in litigation and get them to write you a check.
Right.
And California passed a law a few years ago that if you get like 2 or 3 of these lawsuits going, that now they can go after you as a person who's doing these kind of nuisance.
Well, because people were doing that. They were looking for ADA, non-ADA compliance, or some other little picky something that people didn't even know was a problem.
The ADA one that drove me insane when I was on the San Bernardino City Council was the Carousel Mall, which was essentially a closed mall, and somebody said you didn't have the proper wheelchair ramps and all the various things, and wanted the city to spend millions of dollars to upgrade it all, right, for essentially a dead mall. And and we were fighting the lawsuit because that argument was, well, it's not a place that people actually go,
right?
And we're in the process of trying to shut it down. And what happened there was the person who was actually the primary claimant passed away. And so when that person died,
nobody had standing.
The lawsuit died with them, and
the lawyers didn't get their payout.
They didn't.
Boo-hoo.
Right.
So with that, it's time for a break. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are On the Brink, the morning show on KCAA. We'll be right back.
This segment of broadcasting brought to you by Tender Hearts TLC Incorporated. Tender Hearts, the helping hands for your loved ones. where they understand it can be difficult to find time in your already busy schedule to attend to all the needs of your aging loved one. Tender Hearts will be there for your loved one when you can't be. Tender Hearts TLC helps your aging loved ones stay in their home as they specialize in tender, loving, 24-hour service, including transportation to doctor's appointments, medication reminders, meal preparation, light housekeeping, and assistance with activities of daily living such as hygiene and grooming, orientation, and companionship. We thank Tender Hearts for their support of this station. Tender Hearts TLC, where they don't just care for your loved one, they give them tender, loving care. For more info, you can reach them at 909-528-9759. That's 909-528-9759 for Tender Hearts TLC.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-643-6931 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-643-6931 to take your call now. Call 1-800-643-6931. That's 1-800-643-6931. Again, 1-800-643-6931.
This salute to our military, sponsored by Paco Craig, Home Smart Executives Realty in Moreno Valley, serving the area with quality and pride. If you're in the market to buy or sell real estate in the area, call 951-312-9502 or visit online at PacoCraigProperties.com. Like him on Facebook, that's Paco Craig, Home Smart Executives Realty in Moreno Valley. Thanking our troops and veterans this Memorial Day.
On June 5th, the choice is clear. James Ramos for State Assembly. James Ramos is tackling homelessness in our community, finding permanent housing for more than 400 veterans. Now he's helping homeless youth and families find housing. James Ramos is fighting to keep us safe. San Bernardino County Police and Sheriff support James Ramos for Assembly. We need him in the State Assembly, fighting for us. James Ramos for State Assembly. Paid for by People for Better Government Committee of the San Manuel Band of Mission Indians. Not authorized by a candidate or a committee controlled by a candidate.
The Inland Empire's radio home for the Dave Ramsey Show.
If you want to mess around with the Bitcoin thing and you're in that world a little bit, that's fine. But don't put your freaking life savings in it, doofus.
KCAAradio.com.
KCAA, where every day is a great day.
See you driving round town with the girl I love, and I'm like, forget you. I guess the change in my pocket wasn't enough. I'm like, forget you and forget her too. Said if I was richer, I'd still be richer. Wait, that's some shit. That's some shit. And although there's pain in my chest, I still wish you the best. From the forget you.
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on the Brink, the morning show on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and FM 102.3. And so Fontana Days starts tomorrow.
I saw that. You know, we've never been to Fontana Days. We need to get out there and go to that.
We need to get out. Well, we kind of have something important going on this weekend.
We do. This weekend's a rough weekend for us, folks. Next
year,
year,
it's not a rough weekend.
Well, no, it's a busy weekend. Next year, Fontana, just so you know, don't plan your Fontana Days when my daughter's getting married.
Well, hopefully she won't be getting married next year.
Well, my point exactly, Erin. They need to think about our plans.
So it is going to be so exciting, guys. You're going to want to get out there. Every year, Jesse Armanderas tinkers with the layout of the Fontana Days Festival, and this is in the Sun. If you don't like the way the park is set up, the councilman chokes, blame me. The 105th Annual Fontana Days Festival begins tomorrow, May 31st, at Veterans Park, which is at 17255 Merrill Avenue. The 4-day event, which marks and celebrates the city's founding, is expected to draw more than 20,000 people raring to kick up their summers off right. Organized by the Fontana Exchange Club, the fundraiser will have live entertainment, carnival rides, and food vendors. Also, booths hosted by the Chamber of Commerce, featuring as many as 14 local businesses. My goal has always been to make Fontana Days a 100% community event to pull from all angles of the community, Armendariz said. I want to be able to show everyone how great Fontana is and where we're going. All proceeds from the festival go back to the community. Approximately $20,000 in scholarships are awarded to local school children. The rest is given to local nonprofits.
Yeah, and typically they would have a parade to start this thing off, but this year they moved their parade. They actually had the parade at the beginning of May 5th, as opposed to during the Fontana Days actual 4-day event. And the big thing at the end of this is the run, right? They have their Fontana Days run, and that's a half marathon, a 10K, 5K, kids run, all of that stuff. And so they have a lot going on, Aaron, a lot going on. And I've never run the Fontana Days run, but all my friends say it is like the fastest half marathon around here.
Seriously?
They bus you up to the starting line, which is up in Lytle Creek, and you literally run straight down Sierra. I mean, it's a straight shot.
So do you want to do
downhill. Well, it's the same day as my Swarm event.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. So I'm a little busy.
Yeah, you are. So between the half marathon, 5K run, 5K race walk, 5K family fitness walk, and the children's half-mile dash, more than 20,000 participants are expected. If you go, the 105th Fontana Days Festival runs from Thursday, May 31st to Sunday, June 3rd at Veterans Park. The hours are 5 to 10 p.m. on Thursday, 5 to 11 p.m. on Friday, noon to 11 p.m. on Saturday, and noon to 10 p.m. on Sunday. And admission is $1.
$1.
$1 each day of the festival.
You can afford $1, Aaron. You can.
Was I arguing and saying that I couldn't?
No, I'm just saying that's an inexpensive time to take an outing for your family. That's $1. That's a reasonable deal.
That is a reasonable deal, and that leaves plenty of money for cotton candy and rides and other things.
Heck yeah.
So, yeah, get out there to Fontana Days this weekend. So there is a journalist, we often hear, we live in the United States in a hyperbolic time, meaning everybody exaggerates, right?
Yes.
It's, and I don't really think I'm exaggerating by saying that. Everybody, whatever the president does, it's the worst, and the world is coming to an end. Whatever the left does, if you're on the right, is the worst, and the world is coming to an end. And I hear the word fascist bandied about a lot. Mm-hmm. President Trump is a fascist. Now, regardless of what you think about the president, he's really not a fascist. You want to talk about what a fascist is? Let's take a journey, right?
A journey?
Let's take a journey. A Russian journalist was shot and killed in the Ukrainian capital Tuesday. That's in Kiev. And national police said he apparently was targeted because of his work. Ukrainian police said Arkady Babchenko's wife found him bleeding at the apartment building in Kiev and called an ambulance, but Babchenko died on the way to the hospital. Police said he died of multiple gunshot wounds to his back. The first and most obvious version, of what happened is his professional activities. This is according to the Kiev's police chief, Krishchenko. In a televised comments, Babchenko served in the Russian army and fought during the first separatist war in Chechnya during the 90s. He later became a journalist and worked as a military correspondent for several Russian media outlets. He also published several books based on his wartime experience. But he's been critical of the Kremlin. So, like most journalists who are critical of the Kremlin, he was, a terrible incident happened to him. He was murdered.
He fell down and landed on bullets.
Yeah. But it's, it's like, I've forgotten the journalist's name who was given polonium-6 in the UK. If you come up against the Kremlin, they kill you.
Yes.
That's what fascism looks like.
Yes.
Here, you have the ability to say you don't like the president. You have the ability to, on national television, to roast any member of his administration, including him.
Yes. Yeah. Now, it's interesting, because, yes, you have the rights to say all these things, but sometimes there are consequences for saying things, right?
But not legal consequences.
Not legal consequences.
Nobody arrests
not
you.
Government.
Nobody's going to, the government's not going to take your life, take your family. Nobody's going to a gulag.
Yeah.
Nothing like that.
But, we're seeing some really interesting things right now happening with people who are testing the boundaries of freedom of speech, right? And their employers are stepping up and saying, "Hey, not on my dime. You're representing us." But
that's a different thing.
I know it is. I'm just saying that I think it's fascinating that we're having this sort of conversation. We can have that conversation here, right?
Yes.
I mean, and that's a part of what it means to live in a free society.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes. And in North Korea, if you don't laugh, we talked about this, if you don't laugh hard enough or you laugh too hard about something having to do with politics, even in a tertiary sense, you can find yourself and 3 generations of your family in a gulag for the rest of your lives, because that's how it works over there.
Right.
We don't have that here, and I'm grateful for that. So let's not be hyperbolic when we discuss politics. No. Talk about what is, not what you fear will be.
Yes. I'm going to go over the top, though, and say that politics rocks. I'm just going to say it, Aaron.
How is that over the top?
I don't know. I just thought I'd say it.
All righty. Uh-huh. Okay, well, that was a non sequitur. Apparently, there's a new televangelist who got a message from God that you need to empty your wallets and send the money to him. He needs the money for a $54 million jet, because God told him he needed a $54 million jet. Jesse Duplantis needs to be able to go anywhere in the world with no stops, because those are annoying, and God does not want him to be annoyed.
Wow.
We're on the radio, Tobin.
I know. I'm looking at this and I'm just shocked. I mean, this guy, he's one of these prosperity gospel people, and he explained to Aaron last week in a video that if Jesus Christ walked the earth today, he wouldn't be riding a donkey. And I just find all of this so horribly offensive.
So perhaps we should introduce him to, I don't know, Isaiah 53. He rode the donkey because it was prophesied that he would.
Yes.
It's his everything that Christ, he fulfilled prophecy.
Yes.
So it's not like he would have flown in on a $54 million jet. This guy, okay, a friend of mine, I'm a devout Christian.
Yes.
And a friend of mine told me recently that she's had some serious medical issues, that she was going to church and really looking to be fed. And the pastor there said that if you're still sick, you don't have enough faith, that you need to pray harder, which is an evil, heinous lie. And
Yes.
it comes from this same kind of BS that comes out of the prosperity doctrine
Yes.
movement. It is a lie. Nowhere in the Bible, anywhere, does it say that you will live a life free of tribulation or free from pain or sorrow. Those are part of the human condition.
And having faith is not like magic, where if you can magically pray and you get money or you get healed. It doesn't work that way.
Right. God is neither your fairy godmother nor a golden retriever.
No.
So you can't make him do anything.
Yes.
So with that, it's time for a break. And people who are watching online can see that Gigi Hanna has joined us. We'll be talking to her on the other side. I'm Aaron Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we will be right back.
Aaron?
Loma Linda, 1050 AM, K292 FQ Riverside, and K293 CF Moreno Valley.
NBC News Radio. I'm Lisa Carter. President Trump appeals to his base, urging Republicans to get out the vote in November during a campaign-style rally in Nashville last night. Trump saying Democrats in Congress are blocking progress on border security, health care, and tax reform. Reruns of Roseanne will be disappearing from cable after Roseanne's racist tweet. ABC canceled Roseanne Barr's reboot of her hit show after the comedian posted a racist tweet about former Obama advisor Valerie Jarrett. Jarrett spoke on MSNBC Tuesday night.
I think we have to turn it into a teaching moment.
Jarrett attributed Barr's tweet to the atmosphere created by President Trump, saying the tone does start at the top. A mandatory evacuation is in effect for all residents who live below the dam at Lake Tahoma, North Carolina. Emergency management officials say the lake's dam is in imminent failure. They say water is spilling around the sides of the dam, and it is a life-threatening situation. Lisa Carter, NBC News Radio.
It's time for traffic on KCAA. I'm Aaron Brinker. Well, I have good news for the drivers out there. It seems like it's all clear in the Inland Empire right now, so drive carefully. This has been your traffic report on KCAA. We are the stations that leave no listener behind.
From the KCAA Weather Center, I'm Alvin Washington. Patchy fog greets us this morning, then drizzle, a peak of sunshine, 79 the high. Increasing clouds later tonight, low 57. Gradual clearing Thursday, warm, high 75. Partly cloudy and warm Thursday night, a low of 54. I'm Alvin Washington, broadcasting live from the Tri-City Center at the 10 and 210 freeways. We are the trifecta of talk in Southern California, KCAA, 102.3 FM Riverside, 106.5 FM Redlands, and the Legacy 1050 AM, Loma Linda, San Bernardino.
On June 5th, the choice is clear. James Ramos for State Assembly. James Ramos is tackling homelessness in our community, finding permanent housing for more than 400 veterans. Now he's helping homeless youth and families find housing. James Ramos is fighting to keep us safe. San Bernardino County Police and Sheriff support James Ramos for Assembly. We need him in the State Assembly, fighting for us. James Ramos for State Assembly. Paid for by People for Better Government Committee of the San Manuel Band of Mission Indians. Not authorized by a candidate or a committee controlled by a candidate.
San Bernardino is broken. Broken streets, broken ideas, broken priorities, broken promises, just plain broke. There's never been a more important time to change San Bernardino than now, and that change starts with electing Gigi Hanna for mayor.
I can trust Gigi because she's smart and she knows what she's doing. As a city clerk, she didn't get a vote, but she's seen what's wrong firsthand. Gigi Hanna can fix San Bernardino.
Growing up in San Bernardino, I know one thing. San Bernardino needs a new mayor, and now we've got to take our city back. We've had smart, but not honest. And sometimes we've had honest, but not smart. And we need to get both smart and honest. Gigi Hanna is that combo.
Gigi Hanna is just what San Bernardino needs. A smart, well-educated, and honest mayor who has San Bernardino's best interests at heart.
It's time to fix broken San Bernardino. Vote Gigi Hanna for mayor.
Paid for by Friends of Gigi Hanna for Mayor of San Bernardino 2018.
KCAA, where every day is a great day.
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on The Brink, the morning show on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and FM 102.3. So excited to welcome to the show, back to the show, Gigi Hanna. She's a city clerk for the city of San Bernardino, and she is running for mayor. We have in the primary election, we'll be voting for at least the top two, right? To go to a runoff in November. And so you want to get out there and vote. So Gigi, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So to tell us, what is your vision for San Bernardino? We're just going to jump right in.
Well, I've been here before, and I talked about the revitalization of the Route 66. But what I want to talk about today actually is campaign finance reform and ethics changes, and basically a sunshine ordinance for the city. Because I think that before investors can trust that this city is doing business right, we need to be doing it in the light of day, and we need to be transparent about exactly what's happening. So I think that is holding back investment in the city.
So define what you mean by that, because we hear these buzzwords. People talk about transparency, and then nothing really seems to change.
Well, a sunshine ordinance is generally what refers to open meeting laws, Brown Act, the requirement the state has for the public's government to do business in the public. That means making sure that people know about meetings, making sure that they're well noticed, making sure that closed sessions, that there are reports out of closed sessions as much as
you're legally allowed to do.
You're legally allowed to do. And for me, it has to do with making sure that the agenda is out in a sufficient amount of time, not just meeting the letter of the law, which is 72 hours, but having it out early enough that the council, the mayor, and the public can read what's going to be discussed, and so that there is an understanding of what's coming up for consideration.
But isn't it bigger and broader than that? Like, I know you guys, the city's having budget meetings right now, and they're doing them. You and I were just talking about this off the air. They're doing them in the middle of the day, afternoon. And are people aware? Are they getting information out in a timely manner about these important budget meetings?
Well, the information is out.
Yeah.
They're posted just like any other meeting, but nobody's able to attend, and so you cannot have public input at 3 o'clock in the afternoon or at 9 o'clock on a Monday morning, you're generally not going to get
Everyone's at
people.
work.
Right. And at the same time, they're not videotaping and streaming these meetings. So those people at home who might be able to watch it can't watch it either.
So your changes that you'd be talking about are much broader than just, the noticing things. You'd be
Exactly.
talking about having meetings at times that people can be there.
Right.
Making sure that they're always videotaped and available online.
So how would that work on a staffing level? Because one of the reasons why they're held during the day is that you have to have staff at these meetings because they have to answer questions.
Absolutely. But most of the staff that go to council meetings that are held at night are at the department head level, and so
they're salaried.
We're all salaried, and so that eases some of the overtime issues. I think it's. I just think it's important, especially when we're talking about, like yesterday we were talking about the capital improvement plan, which is the plan for the next 5 years of what the city's going to be doing. A week ago we were talking about the 21 positions that are going to be cut out of the budget for next year. And I think the public wants to know about that. They are audio taped, and we do post those audio.
But the audio is difficult because you can't see who's speaking.
No, you can't. And so I'd like to see every meeting videotaped if they cannot do it in the evening. I'd rather they do it in the evening. But you were a councilman, sometimes you guys have things to do.
Well, and sometimes those evening meetings that started later went so late that we basically ran out the clock on some folks as well. They had to be at work the next day. No one could stay up till midnight. So, we would save the most important stuff to the very, very end when all those people had left. I mean, these are the games that get played, and so
exactly.
It's sad, and I like that you want to approach those issues. So, talk to me about what's happening with the city council and the mayor in terms of transparency. I mean, are these guys trying to be transparent, or are they hiding the ball?
I think that transparency is one of those buzzwords that everybody uses, and people don't really either understand it or like it when they find out what it really means.
Yeah.
And so I don't think there is the transparency there needs to be. Right now, San Bernardino does not have any local ethics or campaign finance laws that precludes a council member from taking campaign donations and then voting on contracts that benefit their contributor.
But that would skewer how I'm playing the devil's advocate here. But if you look at who funds those campaigns, I mean, historically, whoever got the union backing was the person who won because they're the ones that had the deep pockets in the region, right? So if you take that off the table, what happens to campaigns in the city?
It levels the playing field, and I think that cities have done it. I've been looking at different cities' ethics rules for a while now, and some cities have limited how much you can get. Some cities have said, and they do a carrot approach too. They say, okay, if you agree to limits, then perhaps you agree to public financing, or if you take a campaign contribution of over $500, then you need to recuse yourself for 18 months or entirely from voting on something that benefits your contributor. But
now, is there a First Amendment problem with those kind of laws?
No, the courts have actually upheld that. And I don't have the paperwork with me, but they have. I was reading just yesterday. They have upheld limits because they're saying it's not stopping either the person's ability to support a candidate nor the candidate's ability to raise money
to be supported.
Exactly. So what I would really like to see though is I would like this to be a citizen driven initiative so that you have a citizens ethics committee or a citizen sunshine committee, and the citizens decide what it is that they want to accept from their elected officials, and so they set the parameters, and it's all over the place what different agencies accept.
So one of the challenges is, we won't hear anything as, and I read The Sun pretty much every day, and we won't hear what's going on until it's, this department's
Right.
about to be outsourced and the sky is falling. It's like a hold up, hang on. Why is this happening? What led up to this? What is the process, etc.?
Well, and that's the problem with the way that journalism has moved in the last 20 years, in that, they're not funding reporters, local reporters, to talk about these things. So all you do get is a recap of the meeting. And I actually do believe that there is a big connection between local news coverage and keeping your electeds accountable. Right.
Yeah, well, and a lot of the local agencies have their own sort of PR people, that always put out the positive spin, and if you get any of the negative stuff going on, it's hidden away. They're not touting the bad stuff that's happened.
So I want to know, one of the challenges with the current city government is that there's precious little public relations, precious little information coming out. There's
Right.
not a PIO who's really engaged. I mean, if you do a comparison with the school district has PR going. There's information coming out all the time. Linda Bardier does a great job in letting the public know what's going on in and around the schools. They've even created an app so that parents can be updated in all of that. So, is the city going to follow in their footsteps?
Well, I think that it is to the city's benefit. I'm sorry. I don't believe it's to the residents' benefit, but I think that the administration believes it's to their benefit not to get that information out. It's a business decision.
Yeah, but it's public. It's a public entity.
Exactly. And when I was a reporter, one of the first things they taught us in beginning journalism was do not listen to the PIO, because they are spouting what it is that they're being paid to spout. And so the city's public information officer is paid to give you the city's side of the story. So I don't think you're ever going to get the full story from a public information
No, but you'll
officer.
at least know that there is a story.
Right, and it's been a little weak. I mean, I know that I about had a fit after I honestly did have a fit after the December 2nd shooting, 12 days after, when our website, the city's website, had nothing up there acknowledging that there had been a shooting.
Exactly.
And every city around us had something, and I talked to the city manager, and I said, what's this about? This is crazy. Do you need me to do something and put something up? And he said, well, the PIO's been busy. And I said, well, I understand that, but what we're talking about is putting a slide on the front page of our website acknowledging that these people have died. And so I think part of the problem is...
hang on. I need to process that. The PIO was busy.
Well, because of the shooting.
I get that. Too busy to hire a graphic designer to do a little square to put on the website?
Well, actually, I sent her a square in under 5 minutes and said, you know what, at least put this up until you get something better done. And they did, but I was just appalled. 12 days. And so there are some problems. We've just hired another person to do marketing for the city, and I think that I personally don't agree with it. I don't think the city does need some marketing, but we could do our own marketing by just being on the ball.
Yeah, except it's not happening, and
No.
I'm pushing back as a member of the media. It's not happening.
No, it's not.
And let me put this in the context, because a few minutes ago you mentioned that there's a discussion about 21 positions, I think you said, that are going to be reduced. And so in the context of we're reducing positions to save money, we're also going to be hiring people. And so how do you justify hiring a marketing person versus whoever's being laid off? And these are tough conversations.
They are, and personally, I don't justify it. I think that we've been a little wrong-headed. I think that we are paying a city manager, and we're paying what is ultimately a contract city manager to help her do her job, because they've hired Greg Devereaux, who is a fantastic city manager, highly, highly respected, gotten a lot of stuff done in this county, but we're paying him the same amount we're paying a city manager.
Yeah.
And I just think it's unconscionable. I don't think it's fair to the public. So, but these conversations, going back to what I came here to talk about, need to be done in the public. They need to be done with vigorous debate, robust debate.
And that's not happening.
I don't think so. The way that public comment is at the council meetings now, it's been limited completely, both on and off, for items on and off the agenda. You have 3 minutes total for the whole meeting, and it's done at the beginning of the meeting. And I know they did that in part so that people could say their piece and then leave if they wanted to.
Yeah.
But the problem is that people have to give their opinion before the staff report, before the discussion, and I think it's really quieting dissent, and I think that's wrong. I mean, democracy can be messy, it can be annoying, it can go till 1 a.m. Certainly in San Bernardino it has. But that's the way it is, and I think we need to accept that.
So we are completely out of time. Gigi, thank you so much for joining us today. Tell people how they can find you, follow you. Maybe they want to pound a yard sign in their yard. How do they get a hold of you?
I'm available on Facebook, Gigi Hanna for SB Mayor, or Gigi, the numeral 4, SBMayor2018.com is my website.
Gigi Hanna, thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you come back soon.
Thank you very much.
So with that, it's time for a break. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we'll be right back.
And now, Inland Empire Today with Blake Trolley.
One Taylor Swift interview got a little awkward. Let's check in with entertainment.
Is it too soon to do this yet? Taylor Swift is shaking off an interview with a radio DJ who told her she needed to take a shower. The comment came from BBC DJ Greg James, who spoke with Swift after she performed at BBC Radio 1's biggest weekend music festival in the UK over the weekend. Swift told him she was not offended, saying, "There's a lot going on and none of it's good here." That's entertainment. Lisa G., NBC News Radio.
On June 5th, the choice is clear. James Ramos for State Assembly. James Ramos is tackling homelessness in our community, finding permanent housing for more than 400 veterans. Now he's helping homeless youth and families find housing. James Ramos is fighting to keep us safe. San Bernardino County Police and Sheriff support James Ramos for Assembly. We need him in the State Assembly, fighting for us. James Ramos for State Assembly. Paid for by People for Better Government Committee of the San Manuel Band of Mission Indians. Not authorized by a candidate or a committee controlled by a candidate.
We can't be everything to everyone, or can we? The station that leaves no listener behind, KCAA.
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm feeling funky. Oh, I'm Tobin. I'm sorry.
And we are on the brink, the morning show on KCAA. Taking you back. We're going old school. This song is done by every bar band in every dive bar across the country. Because all those bands tend to have the same set list.
Yes.
I know this because I was in one or couple. Yeah, a few.
Right.
Anyway, so I'm excited to welcome back to the show Sherry Hunke from Children's Fund. Children's Fund is a phenomenal organization in San Bernardino providing all kinds of very necessary services and items for foster kids, kids at risk of being in foster care, and just at-risk kids. Sherry Hunke, welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me again.
So, what is new? It's been a while since we talked to you. What's going on?
It's been a while, but this is graduation season, and I just want to celebrate all the high school graduates out there, and wish them a successful future, especially the nearly 200 foster youth who are graduating. Despite having no parental, emotional, or financial support, they still graduated from high school, and we are just so proud of them. So I wanted to give them a big shout out this morning.
Now, did you all have I want to hear about, and just really quickly, about your event back in April with the March Against Child Abuse, the thing that you had at the stadium.
Yes.
How did that go?
That was a really nice event. April is the Prevention of Child Abuse Month, and we had something called Children Are Our Future event, where about 15 agencies that all serve children in San Bernardino County came together, and we put on a big family fun event at the 66ers game. We had over 3,000 people attend, including children who marched around the baseball field in our March Against Child Abuse parade, and we had an art contest. And
how fun!
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We're planning on doing it again next year, so everybody can look forward to that next April.
So it should be right about time for your backpack and school supply drive. Is that correct?
It sure is. We're getting ready to launch that in about a little over a week, from June 8th through July 13th, we are collecting backpacks and school supplies for foster youth and other vulnerable youth in the county. And some people say, well, that's awfully early. You know, school doesn't even start till August. But if you think about it, we need time to sort all the supplies, put them in the backpacks, get them out to the social workers and the caseworkers, and they have time to get them to the kids before school starts.
Right. Actually, that's still pretty quick. I mean, by the time, if you figure July 13th, you only have 2 weeks at that point before school starts.
Yes, yes. So we are fortunate to have a ton of volunteers in the sidelines waiting until the backpack drive ends, and then they all go to work helping us sort and inventory and stuff the backpacks. So we're really fortunate to have volunteers. However, we are always looking for more. So if any of the listeners are interested in helping us with that one project, you know, feel free to reach out to us.
So what if you don't have time to shop for a backpack, but you want to support the effort?
You know, this year, for the first time, we decided to put a wish list on Amazon.com. And so if you go to our website...
That's my kind of shopping.
That's right. By age group, we've divided the kids up into 3 different age groups. And you can just select, click on the link, and it takes you right to Amazon, and you just pick the things you want to purchase, and you can have it shipped directly to Children's Fund, or you can, you know, have it shipped to your house and bring it to us if you prefer to, you know, touch and feel what you purchased first.
Now, if you can't afford like a backpack stuffed, you can buy pieces, right? You don't have to buy the whole set.
Absolutely. On that wish list are $1.99 pencils. So, you know, there's a range. If you were to buy everything that we stuff inside a backpack, it's about $25 worth of school supplies. You could do that, or you could just buy a set of pencils. And, you know, sets of pencils add up. If everybody in the county were to buy a set of pencils, we would be able to, you know, fund all school children in the entire county for the whole year.
So as Tobin knows, Tobin will testify, pencils are critical. How many pencils do you buy for your students every year?
So we buy a ton, and my school district, or my school site, actually, this last year has gotten into buying these little boxes of the golf pencils. You know,
the little short ones?
The little short ones with no eraser, just as something they can use in class, just as a short-term measure, because we go through them so quickly.
Yeah, you can't do your schoolwork without having something to write with. So
Exactly.
That's a great idea.
So your golf tournament's coming up. How's that going?
Oh, yes. We have, on June 11th, we have our 26th annual Children's Fund Golf Classic. And, you know, all the planning is about done. We are still accepting golfers if anybody would like to golf in the tournament. But we've been told it's one of the nicest golf tournaments in the Inland Empire. It's at Red Hill Country Club in Rancho Cucamonga. We have amazing player gifts. Everybody who golfs gets a pair of Maui Jim sunglasses. They get to select their own Travis Matthew golf shirt. Lunch, dinner, we have a silent auction. And I know last year, Erin, you attended and won a nice prize.
I did.
How was that vacation?
Oh my gosh, it was great. We were on the Big Island in March, and it was beautiful. Now the weather during spring break there it was a little rainy, a little cool, and we didn't care because it was gorgeous, and we were able to do everything that we wanted to do pretty much. Don't you think, Tobin?
Yeah, no, it was awesome.
It was awesome. So the opportunity drawings and the auction items and all of that were stellar at the event last year, and I never win anything, and so to have won that trip was very, very cool.
Yeah, that was an exciting day.
Definitely.
So, anyone who would like to learn more about the golf tournament, they can go to our website, which is childrensfund.org/golf, and that will give you all the details about how you can participate. If you want to just attend the dinner, just to, you know, get a chance to bid on some of our silent auction items or our live auction items and win something like you did, you can do that as well. Tickets are $75 just for the dinner portion.
So what other things are coming up? You have an active Facebook page, and so is that where people go to get the most up-to-date information?
Yes, yes. And if you want to see, you know, how we celebrate our kids in this county, that's a great place to go, because every fun thing that we get to do for kids, we try to document on Facebook. That's a way to do it. As a matter of fact, I was talking about graduation. I wanted to let you all know that thanks to the generosity of our donors, every foster youth that is graduating this year was given a laptop and a printer from Children's Fund.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, over nearly 200 kids received that, as well as a full day's worth of training that was provided by Children and Family Services. So these kids, you know, they're going off to college with a laptop, and one child told me that she was had been attending junior college for a semester also, and she said that she would have to get up 2 hours early to go to the library before school to go use the laptop there because she didn't have one, and a lot of her assignments required a laptop. So this was going to save her a lot of time and allow her to sleep more, which she was very excited about.
Yeah, well, and let's be honest, even back in the Stone Age when I was in college, you still needed a computer. I mean, there was, that's how you write your papers, that's how you do your research, that's, especially now with the internet, that's, you can't really function without a computer.
That's right. That's right. They were all very, very excited.
So I'm on your Facebook page right now, and there's a graphic here that says 27% of kids in San Bernardino County live in poverty. That's huge. That's nearly a third.
And the number's going up, unfortunately. It's at Children's Fund, we're doing everything we can to help those kids. As you can imagine, if you live in poverty, there's a whole lot of problems that come with that. And, we try to address them one child at a time. Another statistic that I recently read was if a single woman is the head of household and she has children under 18 in the home, 44% of them live in poverty.
Wow.
If you're a single mom, 44% of the single moms in San Bernardino County are living in poverty. So we're trying to find prevention programs that we're going to be funding this year, and we're doing everything we can to change those numbers, get those statistics going in the opposite direction.
So we are at the end of, or actually for the end of our show for today. Let people know really quickly how they can get involved with Children's Fund and with your school supply and backpack drive.
Okay, fantastic. Any business that wants to do a backpack drive can reach out to us. We have all the supplies you'll need, boxes, posters, and you can reach us at www.childrensfund.org, or you can call our office at 909-379-0000.
Well, thank you so much, Sherry, for joining us today. It has been wonderful. You guys do such an important job out there, and, thank you so much.
Thank you, Erin and Tobin. I appreciate you allowing me to come in and say thank you to all of your listeners.
So we are at the end of our show for today. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And have a wonderful day, everybody, on this beautiful Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM.